What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the A24 Archive. This is the series on my channel where I go back through A24's entire catalog from the first film that they released all the way to the most current film whenever I make it to that point. And if you saw recently, I released a video where I ranked the first 30 films in A24's catalog, and I plan on, after I get to film 60, going through all 60 and ranking them as soon as I get there. But right now I'm on film number 31. And the film I'm going to be talking about today is film Krisha from director Trey Edward Shults. And this is my second time watching this film, and I loved it even more the second time. And I think that this is an incredible directorial debut from Trey Edward Shults, and I'm looking forward to talking about it in the review. Krisha is directed by Trey Edward Shults. When Krisha returns to her estranged family for Thanksgiving dinner, past demons threaten to ruin the festivities. So Krisha Fairchild is the lead actress in this film. She's an incredibly well-known actress. She's been in the game for a very long time, and she delivers an exceptional performance in this film. Trey Edward Shults, for this being his directorial debut, and he has worked with A24 his entire career thus far, this is an incredible directorial feature. I really liked it the first time I watched it, and this time around I loved it because I knew what I was getting into, and so because of that I was able to pay attention to a lot more of the nuances in the cinematography and the editing decisions. And what's really incredible about this film is Trey stars in the film along with directing it and editing it on his own, which the editing choices in this film are exceptional for a directorial debut. It's absolutely mind-blowing what Trey was able to pull off in this. So the story, obviously, Krisha is coming back home for Thanksgiving, and she clearly has not been home in a while. There's comments made about her abuse of alcohol and just life decisions that she makes. And Trey is actually, who plays himself, is Krisha's son, but because of Krisha's alcoholism and the way that she's lived her life, she abandoned him at a very young age with her sister, who is the house that she's going to visit, and she's hoping that she's sobered up and she wants to try to rekindle the relationship with her son. But when she gets there, her son doesn't really have anything to want to do with her. He barely makes eye contact with her. They don't really discuss anything when they're in the room together, and you just start to get this level of tension between these two people that is so palpable. It's impossible to ignore. And so the film is really just these interactions with this really large family get together at Thanksgiving, where Krisha has been put in charge of taking care of the Thanksgiving turkey, and there's this ticking clock element of her putting the turkey in the oven. The timer is in there. She loses the timer at one point. You're constantly hearing this ticking in the background, which is almost like the countdown to destruction if you think about it in that way. And I was just absolutely floored by this movie. I'm someone who, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I have a really weird family dynamic. I'm really close to all of my siblings. I have an estranged relationship with my father. It's a really weird dynamic with my family, and I've been to so many get-togethers in my life that are so uncomfortable and strange, and me and my siblings didn't really know how to interact because a lot of members of our family were really strange. And this movie is one that hit me really hard because I could feel what these people were going through. And it's also hard because on the inverse, you watch Krisha's character, who clearly has been through a lot in her life and thinks that she's doing what's best for her, but can't seem to get over that hump to make her life better. And it's so hard to watch that through these little conversation pieces that happen, and through her actions and the way that she portrays herself throughout the evening. And that's what's so incredible about this, is it's not like this big budget spectacle. It all takes place in one house. It's a very confined environment, but it's all about cinematography, blocking, performances, and everyone in this feels so real. It feels like you're watching an actual family get together. There's never a moment to me where I was watching this movie that I felt like, oh, this is like a piece of filmmaking. This felt like, oh, this is a family who's actually going through these things, and should I really be watching this? It feels kind of like you're peering into someone else's life and watching a lot of things that you shouldn't be seeing, and that to me makes an incredible filmmaker. And I'm a big fan of Trey Edward Shults. I've seen all of his films, so when I watch his other films in A24's catalog, they're all going to be revisits for me. But this is an amazing directorial debut. I also really love the score to this. There's a lot of weird ambient noises, like clicking sounds and things in the background that really unsettle you. There's a level of anxiety and tension tension in this film that's so palpable. It's hard not to have like an anxiety attack when you're watching the movie, because you put yourself into Krisha's position and try to understand what she's doing and why she's there to try to rekindle this relationship with her son and get trust from her family again. But at the same time, her family members don't really care about her because of her poor actions earlier in her life, which is interesting because it's like there's this dichotomy of, okay, is she really trying that hard? Did she really do those things? Because we're only seeing what happens in that moment. And then there's a powerful scene where her sister brings their mother back to the house, and her mother doesn't even remember Krisha immediately. And then they have to explain who she is, and that creates more tension in Krisha's head. And so there's just really just punch after punch after punch in this when you're watching it. It is really like a brutal movie when it comes to Thanksgiving and those types of get-togethers, and I really love this film. I think it's so well executed and well done, and I think if you've never seen this movie and you're into performance-driven character dramas, this is 100% going to be for you. So have you seen Krisha? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was absolutely brilliant. Great performances, amazing cinematography, an incredible directorial debut from Trey Edward Shults. As always, if you like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.